Hey guys, I'm Wes and you're watching Wes Nichols TV. Today I'm reviewing Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. And as I always do, let's start with the positives. First off, I want to say that this movie just really builds off of everything that you've grown to love of the Avengers. It's the first one kicked up a couple notches. It's pretty obvious that the Avengers have been working together for a while now. You can just see it from the first scene that they have way better chemistry and that they blend. It's not like the first one where it's kind of like, yeah, you have Captain America and Iron Man and the Hulk and Thor and they're all together and it's cool, which it is cool, but now it's like you have the real Avengers. They're showing up. It's not just a group of people who are calling themselves that. This is a team. And with that improved teamwork, we also see a return of the witty banter from the first movie. It's really funny, it's crisp through the entire thing. There's jokes that they make in the beginning that just keep running through the movie and it just makes you feel kind of like you're a part of this group, this friendship. It's really fun to watch. But even though you can tell these guys are friends now and they're not just working as a part of like an overall group to save the earth, and there's a lot of jokes and a lot of banter, you can see where they have moral differences, and when it does come up, how seriously they divide, and that will blend really well into Civil War. Another positive is you really get to see more character development from Hawkeye. I felt like in the first one he was really underutilized. He's the most normal and human character of this entire group, and while he's not the most, cool character, this movie really does build him up. It gives him a wider story and makes him more interesting. And I think that'll help out in the long run throughout the rest of the series. On top of all the really serious story elements that this movie did a really good job about, it also looked really crisp. It looked really cool. The CG was really, really impressive. I'm going to say it might not be popular. It might be. I don't know just yet because it's new. But Ultron's a better villain than Loki. Loki's fun and he's funny and stuff like that. But Ultron is legitimately scary. And that's really assisted by the brilliant voice acting performance of James Spader. But no movie is perfect, and there were some flaws in this movie. First being, the whole first half an hour, it's a fun sequence, it's entertaining, I'm not going to hold that against it, but like the real story didn't begin until about, I would almost say maybe the half an hour, 40-minute point of the movie. And that's a small negative, not a big one, but it was a little bit of like, okay, I want to see Ultron. I wanted to see Ultron since the trailers, and you're making me wait for him. Another negative, and once again, it's not a huge one, but it was a slight negative for me, is that the trailers made this movie out to be really serious, a darker toned movie than all the rest, and it was darker than the first Avengers and some of the other, Marvel movies, but it was more lighthearted than I expected. It wasn't as dark as I thought it was going to be from the trailers, so I did feel kind of misled. Small negative, but a negative nonetheless. My last negative, and this is probably the biggest of them, and even this isn't all that big, but the voice acting done by Eliazabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson as the twins, it was cheesy Russian accents. I mean, he was talking like, oh yes, you come here to Mother Russia, and it's like, these movies have demonstrated high quality talent in acting, and you normally don't see a lot of bad acting in these Marvel Studios movies, and this one, they were noticeably bad, so that's the worst negative. But I will say that I did like the characters, more so in the later portion of the movie. Overall, I'd say this is by and far the best movie so far of 2015. I would give it a rating of a 9 out of 10. If I were to go in more detail, I'd say just under a 9, but I'm rounding up in this case. This is a must-watch. I'm recommending this movie to anybody who comes like, hey, do you like movies? Yes, go see the Avengers Part 2, Age of Ultron. You will enjoy it. It's at that level for me. I thought that everything you loved about the first one is built upon in this movie. It's not as dark as I thought it was going to be from the trailers, but it's still enjoyable. And while there were some flaws, none of them were really all that big, and definitely not big enough to pull you away from the movie and say, oh man, this is happening right now. But that's just my opinion. Here are some others.
Okay, well, it was a really good movie. Definitely a lot more action than the first movie. Everything built up really well. Something I'd definitely go see.
I was definitely impressed, and I was glad to see that Hawkeye actually had quite a few moments, because in the last one he really didn't. CGI, always amazing. I like the character development, finally.
Well, anyway, that movie I really thought was fucking awesome. It was pretty badass. Hulk is definitely my favorite character. My friends can watch it, absolutely. The action's pretty killer.
I was expecting something that felt heavier, and then it came in, and like through every fight scene, everybody's joking about it, and it just makes me like nobody's in danger. So definitely go see it. if you're a fan of the series and Marvel as a whole, or even just a casual moviegoer. Plenty of action, plenty of laughs, plenty, there's lots of things going on. Still really good overall, but for me, what could have been a clean 10 out of 10, amazing must-see, for me came in like an 8 out of 10.
I'm kind of in the same boat, but it's a higher 8.
Okay.
Like I might be like an 8.1, she might be like an 8.8.
Like right here.
Comment right down the middle. Subscribe over here to Wes Nichols TV for more movie reviews.